Leslie. Hello, everybody. I'm always lost. Okay. Can you tell us about when you deep mind probe ETs? Yes, I can. Okay, so when I deep mind probe ETs, it's very weird only because it feels like they're just all over the place, right? So these ETs, when I deep mind probe them, either they're either like really creepy, no lie, I'm sorry. They're either really creepy or they're kind of like, they feel like beings that hold a lot of knowledge and a lot of spirituality. It almost feels like I probe and everything is like moving all at once. It's very hard to explain. But like when I probe ETs, I feel a little uncomfortable only because they creep me out. Okay. I didn't really, interact with ETs before I came to Farsight. And so just being here and, probing them and feeling how they feel, it feels very foreign. It almost feels like something that's not comprehensible. So, but it feels weird at the same time. Like now it's like I can be out in public somewhere and I'll feel that feeling. Like I'll feel that feeling of an ET and I'm like, ain't no way there's not an alien right here. Okay. That dude's right behind me. So there's that. Let's see what else we got. Hi from California. Hello. Of course. Let's see. I think it would be worse if it's a human mind. At least humans, I know what they're going through. Like, I can relate to a human being, okay? I can't relate to no freaking alien. That do something else. Different dimensions. Thank you. You guys are so nice. Oh my gosh. I watched a recent video blog about your encounter with the blue lady. Ooh, thank you. Have you ever encountered her or anything like her since? Have you gained more insight into where we are going? Ever since I saw that blue lady, I have not seen her since. But her energy, I feel like, still flows through me. And it's just something that honestly, I feel like changed my perspective on life. It was like, I wasn't really someone who believed in a lot of these things that I see now before I came to Farsight. And like now that I'm here, I feel like I'm going through a whole awakening in front of you guys. And so it's very cool to experience and see. I didn't really deal with aliens or care for them before I came to Farsight. That's all like really weird to me too. Oh my gosh. Courtney! I'm sorry. How do I scroll through these comments?
Well, you can't.
I can't?
If they scroll past, then you just lose them.
Dang!
Don't ask them again.
Okay.
Don't ask them again.
Okay. There's a lot of ETs in Los Angeles that look/are human.
Just read them loud so they can hear the question because they're having trouble following the questions also.
I got it. I read it out loud. Let's see. Can I describe what the blue lady's hair looked like? Okay, so her hair was like an afro, but not an afro because her hair was the cosmos. So when I tell you it was like a blue lady with, she had a third eye and, her regular eyes, and her hair was like just the cosmos. So just imagine if I didn't have hair here and I had just like stars and planets and all that stuff just kind of moving around all at once. That's literally what I saw in pitch black. Let's see. Margaritas. I'm not gonna lie. I love me some margaritas. What is it like deep mind probing Bashar. Okay, so when I deep mind probed Bashar, I didn't even know who he was, to be honest. So when I deep mind probed him, it was very weird because it's like I was hearing his voice, but I was also hearing someone else's voice there. And it's just like, it was really hard to differentiate and comprehend what all was going on, because I was like, I don't know if this dude is like weird or if he has like a mental thing or someone's talking to him. But it literally felt like he was talking to, or not he was talking to, but like he had personal thoughts, and then someone else's intrusive thoughts would come in and take over his thoughts. So it felt like his mind was kind of like a mumbo jumbo type of thing. That was really cool too. I really liked that session that we did over Bashar. I didn't really, and these are the things, it's like I didn't even know aliens could like come into people's minds and do those sort of things. And so that was a whole eye-opening experience for me as well. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that project. I want my hair like that. Yes, girl, get you some locks. Did you discover this ability? How did you discover this ability of yours? What ability? What ability are you talking about? Can you teach me how to do this? And is Jesus and Zeus the same person? I don't think Jesus and Zeus are the same person. When I remote viewed Zeus, he felt like just like this disgusting human being, honestly. He was just like, he creeped me out. When I remote viewed Jesus, it felt like, I just felt really sad for him, and it felt like he was going through a lot at the time. And it's just, it was two totally different people. So I would say that they're not the same person. You got locks? Lock gang, yes. Tell Courtney that I still enjoy listening to his podcast on science fiction and politics. I will totally tell him that. What do you mean used for protection? Have you ever remote viewed the distant future of Earth? I've never remote viewed the future of Earth, honestly. What was your scariest remote viewing? Was Jesus an extraterrestrial? I'm going to say Jesus was not an extraterrestrial. When I probed him, it felt like just a human being, and it felt like someone who was just going through a lot, and I can't really describe, because I'm really bad at putting my thoughts into words. So I can say that when I probe aliens, it feels like I'm probing robots, and I'm probing things that like have no soul. And then when I probed Jesus, you know, it's like I felt his pain, and I felt the things that he went through, and it's just, I would not say that he was an extraterrestrial. Gosh, there's so many questions. And assuming he pretends to see, there's free lessons on Farsight. Yes, there are free lessons on Farsight. Do you or Courtney give lessons on RV? How do I sign up? I don't give lessons on remote viewing. I don't really have the time to, so I don't do that. But I know Princess Aziz and maybe Trudy do. Hi, Kahmia, is aliens that Carlos Castaneda reported, maybe? I have no idea about that part. Okay. Hey, England, how's it going? How did you get started in remote viewing? Oh, okay. So how did I get started in remote viewing? Long story short, I was just like on the internet, and I kind of was like looking at certain things, and I kind of ran into like Princess and Courtney, and it was like they kind of introduced me to those things. I had no idea what remote viewing was before I came to Farsight. So I came in with an open mind and an open heart, and I had no idea what was going on. Like my first like week of training, I was just remote viewing and finding things at the target, and it was just like the weirdest thing ever what remote viewing was. And now that I do it on a regular basis, it's just like, it's great and it's amazing. And I really enjoy it. And it's helped me open my mind to everything else that's going on in the world. I wouldn't say I was closed-minded before remote viewing, but I was definitely not as open-minded as I am now. So remote viewing has definitely changed my life for the better. I've tried to show everybody in my life what I do for a living, and it's just like, it's beautiful. Here's so many questions. Oh my gosh. Okay. Your personal development remote viewing. I can't read these. Oh, I can go back. Courtney's wrong. Let's see. Did I find remote viewing? So Michael Finnerty? I'm sorry if I'm saying your names wrong. Did I find remote viewing easy to learn? No. When I tell you that remote viewing was hard and I wanted to give up halfway through, that's the truth. And it took everything in me to keep going with remote viewing, but I had to find a love for it, and I really do love remote viewing, and I love what I do here at Farsight, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I like this question. Captain Kimchi, does cannabis promote or inhibit remote viewing skills? I would say that it doesn't inhibit or promote anything. I think that, it's not for everyone. And I personally don't like to be in a different headspace while I remote view. Sometimes it's a little bit easier because my mind's not running and thinking consciously about everything that's going on. But I wouldn't say it does anything greater or less than for remote viewing. Jesus probably sad others worship him. Drugs are not good. Drugs are not good, guys. No drugs. Can you remote view our future together? Possibly. What is your favorite remote viewing project? Ooh. I would say my favorite one was Jesus, only because just to feel like how he felt in that time. I'm very much so an empath, and so that one hit me hard. I was like, I feel really bad for this guy, and I feel like he doesn't really deserve the things that are happening to him, and I can't believe like how these people feel towards him. And like the whole time while I'm remote viewing, I don't know what I'm seeing here, so I'm just feeling really bad about everything that's happening. And then once Courtney told me what I was remote viewing, I was like, wow, that hit home, because I've never been a really religious person. But that definitely, again, opened my mind to things that people have been through in the past and things that people don't believe were real but have happened. And I experienced that for myself. And so I can say that one was really hard, and that one almost made me cry. That one that I just did. I do so many projects, guys, that it's hard for me to remember exactly which ones, but I followed someone's soul, and I think it just got published. But I also encountered some sort of extraterrestrial there, and I was following souls, and it felt like people were being played with, and their minds were being turned into mush or something. I can't remember exactly which project it was, but I just did it. And I was when I was remote viewing it, I literally felt sick to my stomach, and I felt like whatever they were doing to these people, I can't get behind. It was even thinking about it now, makes me very uncomfortable. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then you do. But I think we followed someone's souls, and it's hard. It's hard. Remote viewing is hard, and it's hard on my person. Some aliens have souls. Maybe they do. I don't know. The ones I remote view, to me, they feel like robots and empty people. I haven't seen The Edge of Space. Mr. Richie Rich. Have you seen The Edge of Space? Are you an extraterrestrial goddess? I don't think so. Let's see, what else is here? Is it possible to remote view the inside and underneath the dome of the rock? It might be, to be honest. I feel like anything is possible to remote view. That's something that you'd have to, of course, ask Courtney, because he's the one who gives out the projects and whatnot. Is Courtney looking for people to train? As far as I know, not right now. Princess is training people, Aziz, and maybe Trudy. Not really sure on Trudy, but Princess and Aziz are definitely training people. Could you please tell us your personal development story and remote viewing skill? Yeah, when I first started to remote view, it was really hard because I had no clue what I was doing and like no clue what was going on. And so I just kind of depended on Courtney for the most part. And really, it takes a lot of trust in your intuition and in your higher self. And that's something that I had to learn how to do. I didn't really trust my intuition. And so remote viewing at the beginning was really freaking hard. It was like, I felt like it was kind of weird, and I felt like it wasn't real, and I felt like I was just making things up. But then it's like, how can I make all these things up? But everything's there, and everyone's finding the same stuff as me, you know? And so it's just, now it's like I can't not trust my intuition. Now it's like when I remote view, the first thing that I hear, I write that down because it has to be right, you know? That's the whole thing about remote viewing. You have to trust the feelings that you get the first time. Because if you start second guessing things, then your conscious mind can come through and start making everything up. Okay, your conscious mind can come through and tell you you're in a whole other place because you felt like something happened. And so you'll start making things up. And that's just something that I had to learn over the years. I had to really trust my intuition and trust that what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling is there, and back it up with confidence. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stand behind what you say and what you feel and what you see. So it's kind of how I feel. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind on these comments. Nice turquoise earrings. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Yeah, Jesus, I don't think Jesus was killed because of his skin color. I think he was killed because he wanted to speak on behalf of God, and a lot of people back then were not having that. So that's just my personal opinion, though. You know, y'all do you. You guys are freaking amazing. I love you guys. How many lives have you lived plus your own? Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so past lives. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've only experienced one of my past lives. And in that past life, it felt like I was, this is all I can remember because it was a vision that I had. But in my past life, I was still a woman. I was still Black. And it felt like I was kind of along like during like those slavery eras, because all I saw when I saw my past life was that I was like calling for people and I was running through some sort of street or field and there was fire in my face and flames and I was definitely being chased. But all I can say is that I was a woman and I was Black. And that's what I was in my past life. And I definitely was being like followed or something. It was really cool. It was like the first thing I've ever experienced in my past life. So first I thought it was like crazy, but now I know that like that's definitely something that I experienced. Have you remote viewed Coral Castle in Homestead, Florida? I haven't. I don't remote view outside of Farsight, because I have a lot of projects that I do at Farsight. So I don't really do work outside of Farsight. Everything that I've remote viewed is on our channel and on our streaming platform. Dome of Rock is simply a meteor, nothing else to it. They worship a rock because it fell from the sky. Oh, well, look at y'all teaching me new things. I ain't know that. I did not know that. Are you a water sign? Yes, y'all. I'm a Cancer. I just had a birthday. I'm sorry. My birthday was 3 days ago. So I'm 24 now. And it feels great to make it to another year. And I can't wait to have another year of remote viewing at Farsight. Did you have any entities follow you after remote viewing at some point? I'm going to say yes. I wish I could remember these projects, guys. I'm so sorry that I can't remember them off the top of my head. But that one project that I was talking about earlier when I felt like, no, that was a totally different project. What project was that? There was at some point in my video where like I felt like the ET was in the room with me and he was in my head and I was probing him and I was trying to figure out, how he was feeling. And as I was probing him and feeling out how he was feeling, I could hear a voice tell me, leave me alone, get out of my head, go away. And like that part creeped me out. And then after that, for a good like month, I would say, I felt like I was hearing voices and I was feeling things. When I tell you guys, I was sitting in my house and the energy would sit still and I would hear like a ringing in my ear and something telling me to look in a certain direction or something telling me that something's about to happen or something telling me that, this is going on. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. It's so hard to explain because this is all very new to me. This is all very, very new to me. And a lot of the times I personally don't know what's going on. I feel like, am I being followed? And do I feel these things? There's a lot of times where I hear ringing in my ears and I feel that energy of something else being in the room with me, and I'll look behind my back, and I'll look in that general direction that I feel like I'm hearing this voice from, and it's just weird. It's weird. I can't really explain if I feel like I'm being followed, but a lot of the times I do feel like there's extraterrestrials looking after me or looking over me, if that makes sense. What's going on in these comments? We see World War III in the background. Oh no, we have a comment on that. When you view a past event and aliens notice you, does the original event now have you peering to them years ago? Okay, let me reread that just in case you guys didn't hear me. Googly third-eyed. I like that. When you view a past event and an alien notices you, does the original event now have you appearing to them years ago? So this is the question that I actually asked Courtney when he told me that like a princess was remote viewing something and then someone else remote viewed and they could see her there. But it's kind of like nothing changes. It's just that your energy and your kind of ghost person is there. So I think that they can like, people can see your little higher self kind of being there and floating there, but physically you're not there. And so nothing really changes when it comes to the events that happened. At Marlene, keep posting the question. It was great. Yeah, post the question again because I'm sorry I didn't see it. Have I ever seen nature spirits? That blue lady that I saw in the cosmos while I was astral projecting, I feel like she was everything and anything. So I feel like she very much so could be a nature spirit. I feel like I met some sort of nature spirit or everything spirit. I'm telling you guys, it felt like the weirdest thing ever. It was the weirdest thing ever. But personally, like a specific nature spirit, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Does your higher self look in appearance? How does your higher self? Gosh, I cannot read. How different does your higher self look in appearance from your human self? I think that my higher self kind of looks very much so like me. Because I think, we're all made in its image. And so it's kind of like your higher self does look like you. And I think it looks like you, whatever you want it to look like. So when I saw that blue lady, she felt like my higher self. And I wouldn't say she looked like me, but she kind of resembled me with her facial features and stuff. Her hair was obviously not in locks, but there's that. Did the Anunnaki design humans? I have no idea, guys. I don't even know what an Anunnaki is. Y'all know a lot of things that I don't know, and so I like that you guys are telling me things that I don't know. How do you differentiate between remote viewing and imagination? That's hard. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of times where I genuinely feel like I'm making things up. Like the thoughts that come to my head, I'm like, this can't be happening. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to say that's what's happening here. But it feels like I'm making those things up. It's very hard to differentiate between your imagination and remote viewing. And that's why remote viewing is so hard. That's why a lot of people, their results aren't really conclusive. Because at the end of the day, remote viewing is you trusting your intuition and you trusting your higher self to give you the information that you need. So that information that you feel from your higher self, you have to trust that, whether it's your higher self or your imagination. You tell yourself that that's your higher self. And honestly, that's what I do. And I'm, for the most part, my work still comes out very accurate. And so I would say that don't even tell yourself that you're imagining things, that this is imagination. You tell yourself that that's what's there. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're remote viewing. And that will help you gain more confidence in your remote viewing skills and in your results that you get. Sorry if I say a lot of times too. See. I take that probe for... you guys are funny. What's the worst thing you think is going to happen in the next 50 years? I think the worst thing that's going to happen is, honestly, I feel like we're going through the worst thing right now. COVID, people fighting for their rights to be human beings and not be, seen as else than. I feel like that's a lot what's going on. I feel like there could be some sort of I don't want to say war because I feel like we won't really get to the point of war, what's going on right now, but I do think that we'll get past that. Or not past that, but I do think we'll get somewhere near that, especially. Things are definitely, I feel like, going to get a little uglier. And I don't want it to get uglier, but I do feel that way. Let's see what's going on here. Do I think some UAPs could be remote viewers? Can you please, Christopher, tell me what a UAP is? Sorry, guys. I want to see Courtney do a remote viewing session. I feel like Courtney is all remote viewed out. He's told me that he's been remote viewing for quite some time. And so I think that his time is now mostly behind the camera and editing. I don't know if Courtney will ever remote view anything for you guys. I will certainly ask, and I will certainly be very persuasive. I feel like autism is a sort of evolution to deal with the way of the world now. I've never thought of that. They changed DNA. I've never left the United States, y'all. Never left the United States. Are autism and Asperger's byproducts of alien genetic engineering or our own species? I honestly can't even answer that because I do not know. I don't know. I feel like I don't even want to answer that question. I'm sorry. I love your work. Awesome. Can you give a bit of remote viewing advice with your high self? Just all the advice I can give you is just to trust your higher self. It's all trust. It's hard. Believe me, it's hard, but just take what you receive as what it is. Don't try to look deeper into it while you're remote viewing. Don't try to make it something that it's not. What you saw is what's there. You saw a structure. It's not the Capitol building. It's not, the Twin Towers. It's nothing like that. It's just a structure. And that will help you keep your conscious mind from making things up. And you just putting stuff down on paper that's not actually there. What do you do for spiritual projection to avoid astral harassment? I got no idea. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do anything for protection to avoid astral harassment. Usually when I astral project, nothing really bothers me. I saw that one blue lady and that was it. The other times I astral project, I specifically go to the mountains because they make me feel happy. And so I astral project with a purpose. And I don't really encounter anything outside of that. Have you ever dreamt about, I like that question, Antonio Hernandez. Have you ever dreamt about a remote viewing session you did either that day or some time ago? There are some things that I do dream about. I dream a lot about the what's that one I can't think of right now. It's a reoccurring dream that I do have. I do dream about that one I was talking about earlier where we were following someone's soul and I felt like they were messing with people's minds and stuff. I had a whole dream that I was one of those people that they were messing with and experimenting on. And when I tell you I woke up sweating, okay? I woke up nervous, okay? And I woke up creeped out. At that point, it was I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. It was just the creepiest thing ever. And I will say that dreaming about my remote viewing sessions helps me cope. Because a lot of things that I experience, it's hard for me to cope with those things afterwards. I try to push a lot of stuff that I remote view into the back of my mind because just experiencing those things takes a lot on the mind. And it's just, I had a dream about that, though, that I was definitely being messed with and played with, and I was kind of watching these things all unfold. But, it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't crazy. I lived, but it was really cool. And I actually had a good time in that dream, even though I was creeped the heck out. Let's see. Let me get down to these questions that are coming up now. You might be a targeted individual. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it a lot of the time. I'm driving in the city and I out of nowhere I hear this ringing. Guys, I don't know. I feel like I've looked at a terrestrial in its face. Okay, there'll be times I told you guys when I feel like everything stands still, and it's super quiet, and I hear this ringing in my ears and something telling me to look over in a certain direction. It's happened at least 3 times since I've started working at Farsight, but all those things will happen, and I'll look over at like a random person, and they'll already be looking at me. And they'll be staring me down, and I'm like, what is this person staring at? And why are they staring so hard? And why is their energy calling me? And they look human, but they look a little off. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I looked at this lady one time, and I tilted my head like, are you human? And it's like, we made eye contact for a good like 3 to 5 seconds before she finally just like looked away, like nothing fazed her. Like, we didn't just have a whole conversation in our minds. But I feel like I am. I'm not gonna lie. I do not have any extraterrestrial friends, Ben. Heck no. I'm sorry. Extraterrestrials are cool to me, but at the same time, they genuinely creep me out. Have you ever acted as someone's guardian angel while dreaming? Warlord? No, I haven't. Remote viewing is astral protection. Please protect yourself before you remote. Thank you. Can you ask Princess if Moses was, or remote viewing Moses? She has a description of him. Asking, interested in some person. You know, if I remember to ask Princess that question, I will. I don't really see Princess anymore because of everything that's going on right now. We all kind of work from home. So, but I will ask her that question and see what she thinks. What size shoe do I wear? 7.5. Remote viewing is not astral projection. Okay, I love that you guys are having a conversation. I don't think remote viewing is astral projection. I've done both. And remote viewing feels more like the things that I feel and experience. And when I tilt my head up, you know, I see that picture. But astral projection is something that, like, it feels like a dream, but I know exactly what's going on. What project did I see the blue lady? Truth Seeker, that is not a project. That is something that as I was, not remote viewing, as I was meditating before I was going to start a session at work, I was meditating, and I closed my eyes, you know, meditating, whatever. And I could feel myself breathing, and that's when I started to astral project. That blue lady that I saw was an astral projection. And after I, you know, encountered her, I came right back to my body, like right back. Opened my eyes, I was at Farsight, you know what I mean? It was really, really weird. It was really weird, but it was also really cool. Let's see. Bruna, what inspired you to work with remote view? Like I said, I did not know what remote viewing was before I came to Farsight. I just met Courtney and Princess and Melina, and they were all just like really cool people, and they kind of explained to me what remote viewing was. I'm very much so into everything spiritual, astral projection, meditating, all of that stuff. Those are all things that I already did and knew about, but I had no idea what remote viewing was. And so when I came to Farsight and to Courtney about it, you know, I very much so thought that remote viewing was astral projection. When Courtney explained to me and I watched Princess's first videos and I was like, you know, what's going on here? I thought it was astral projection. And then, you know, over time, Courtney is like, no, that's not astral projection. Like, it's two totally different things. And now, since I've been doing this for the past 2 years, it's definitely not the same thing. And so nothing really inspired me to work with remote viewing. I just met really dope people who kind of showed me it, and I practiced it for a couple months, and I learned to love it, and I learned to open my mind and accept it for what it was. And that's really just what inspired me to keep remote viewing. The thing that keeps me remote viewing is that all of this is just like the coolest thing to me. I'm sorry. It's like the coolest thing ever. And I love what I do at Farsight, and I love that I get to experience all these things, and it's just amazing. They probably just think you're cute. I don't think some 90-year-old lady thinks I'm cute. I'm sorry, guys. You could be right, but I don't know. I feel like not. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Did the Death Trap project? Wow, don't judge me, okay? Did the Death Trap project affect the way you look at death? No, I'm gonna say no. Only because, you know, I always knew that I always believed that your soul is recycled, and you always, you know, you go back to the main place, and you come back to Earth. So I feel like, you know, death traps, I mean, yeah, it made me think of it differently. Like, why would they erase our minds and bring us back here and make us into slaves with, free thought and the ability to make choices on our own. And so it's kind of like, I haven't looked at it differently. I can say that. I feel like it's still the same to me personally. Have you ever deep mind probe an animal? No, I haven't. Does remote viewing wear on you emotionally? Yes, mentally. There's a lot of times where I feel like I can't do it anymore, but I just push through it. And I just think I have to meditate more, and I have to tell myself that, like, you know, I'm not actually experiencing these things. Because otherwise it does. There was a good moment of time where I felt like I didn't really, you know, feel like myself, and I felt like it's the hardest to explain, but I feel like I lost myself while I was remote viewing, mentally and emotionally. So I will say that for me personally, it wears on me emotionally, Rid. Let's see, where did you get your earrings? I got them at this like crystal store by my house in Georgia, so it's not something you can get online. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can feel your hug. Yes, I can. Thank you. Lucid dreaming. Oh, I love lucid dreaming. Most of the time when I'm lucid dreaming, though, I'm doing some like crazy 007 running through the town type stuff. I do like lucid dreaming, but I don't think it's anything like remote viewing or astral projection. You know, it's all its own. They're all their own things. Tell us more about the death traps. Some death traps. So I guess just all I could think about when it comes to the death traps is that when I saw it, I felt like someone's soul was like, you know, leaving Earth. And it was leaving, and it was floating away. And they saw this light, like flies see lights. And, you know, you fly towards the light. And this person was like, ooh, yeah, the light. And they start drifting towards this light. And then when they got to that light, it was like they came back to this planet as like a whole new being. And so the death traps, you know, I don't really know like the details. I just know what I saw, and what I saw was just that they just taking people, their souls, and putting them back. And I don't know why they do that either. And it's the weirdest thing, you know, they want to use our souls as like, they want us to kind of be like slaves to this planet. I don't know, the death traps creep me out though, and I don't like to think about them because I like to believe that I don't have to come back here. But those surely creeped me out. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of projects that we do like creep me out. So yeah, I hope that answered your questions. I can't really tell you more about the death traps other than that they take us and they bring us back here, and they just want us to work to death and make them money and make them feel like they're these amazing beings. When remote viewing, are you just observing, or can you affect the situation you are viewing? You are just observing. You can't go in there and affect anything. You know, some beings that are there can feel that you are there and you are probing them, but outside of the events that happen, you have no control over that. My favorite food: kettle corn, popcorn, or mac and cheese. Okay, Those are my favorite foods. Why do you always reference SpongeBob? Because, guys, SpongeBob was my childhood. And so when I think of abstract things, I think of SpongeBob, right? Because it's just like SpongeBob, the most craziest things happen in SpongeBob. And like, is that a coincidence? I don't know. But I do think of SpongeBob for some reason a lot of the times. And I feel bad for always referencing SpongeBob. But it's just the first thing that comes to my mind. It's always SpongeBob and like Game of Thrones. How long does it take for you to leave your body when you're trying to astral project? I'd say like 15 to 20 minutes. Beautiful Squidward. The aliens do be looking like beautiful Squidward, guys. Like I feel like ETs have very strong facial features and not a whole lot of fat on their face, and so they look like beautiful Squidward, like snatched. Are you able to comment on the kill shot, Patty? I'm sorry, I don't remember that. My souls and my parents have ET content when you want during meditation. Almost stimulate. That was funny. Your comment's hilarious. ET contacted you once during meditation. That's funny. John, I just had a birthday 3 days ago, so I am now 24. 24. Thank you, Ken Harrington. I appreciate your comment. Let's see what all else is going on here. Do you have a grandma or auntie that watches over you? I don't. All of my grandparents and aunts are alive, so they're all here. What's the most dangerous entities you have come across during remote viewing? Oh my gosh, I love kettle corn. Sorry, Texas. I freaking love kettle corn. Yes. The most dangerous entity that I have come across during remote viewing is definitely that ET that was in my head while I was remote viewing him, and I was trying to see like what he was thinking, and he was telling me to get out of his head, and like I would hear the right answer, and then out of nowhere I would hear something like that's the complete opposite, and I'm like, how do I hear two things at once that are not right? And that's when I realized that like the first thing that I heard was right, but then this dude is literally telling me something else so that I can't be right, because he doesn't want everyone to know what's going on. And that person, I feel like, definitely followed me home, because ever since that remote viewing, I've literally felt like the energy around me is different, and like when I like encounter like weird beings and stuff, that energy feels like the same, and it feels like sometimes like someone's sitting with me like in my car, and it feels like their energy. It's very hard to explain, but I do feel like that one where that dude was in my head, that guy definitely followed me. Are you familiar with Enkai and Enlil? Gosh, totally terrible at these names, but I'm not. I don't know those names. I'm sorry. The uncomfortable truth over the comfortable lie takes a lot of courage. Thank you for staying courageous. Thanks. Hi, Andy. I've never been to Scotland. I see pictures though, and it looks really beautiful. And thank you. Do you believe we're living in the end of times? I do not. I don't. I think that we are living in a transitional period, so I do not think that we're living at the end of times. I do think, stuff's about to get a little real, but I don't think that like anything like super crazy is gonna happen, because I feel like when things first started happening, I was very nervous, but now I feel very calm, and I feel very like easygoing, and I know that whatever is coming next is going to be an amazing and beautiful thing, and we are definitely changing things for the better now. Hi guys from the UK. Hey, how's it going? What stuff is going to get real? Just like, stuff everything that's going on right now. I don't know if you guys know, but like the government has like been denying aliens for like forever, and then they just leaked all of their old research and stuff proving that like they've seen extraterrestrials and stuff, and they've leaked a lot of things on remote viewing, like their intellect on remote viewing and stuff. And so it's just like, I feel like when things are going to get real, I mean, like, the world is going to open their eyes and people are going to start seeing things differently, and people are going to have to open their minds and broaden their perspectives to really enjoy this world for what it is. So I guess that's kind of what I mean when stuff's gonna get real. Just like everything with the government and with people living like their own lives. And when it comes to astral projection and remote viewing, like a lot of people that I know didn't really believe in none of this stuff until I started doing it and I was showing them what I was seeing, and now they all open their eyes and they all know what's going on now. And it's just a massive awakening, you know. 2020 is the year of perfect vision, and I believe that. I believe that this year people are going to open their minds, they're going to open their hearts, and they're going to open their like perspectives, and really this world is not going to be the same after 2020. That's what I believe. ET basically forced images into my head. All I could do was grab the bed beneath me and fright until it was over. Dang, I'm sorry that happened to you. Have you tried remote influencing? I have not. Do you close down your chakras when you're finished a session? I don't close my chakras, honestly. I work really hard to keep them very open, and so I don't purposely close them on purpose. Do you believe you're living in the end of being single? You guys are funny. Crazy Horse. I don't do remote viewing sessions outside of Farsight right now. I'm mostly just focused on my work here and doing the best that I can here for Farsight and for Courtney. So I would say, you know, if you did want to hire someone for a remote viewing session, I would say hit up Princess or hit up Aziz for that. Have you seen dragons? I have not. Your alien stalker is going to get a green card. You might already have one as far as I'm concerned. Ronald Craig, have you ever thought of working with David Paulides from 411? I have not. I don't even know who that is. I'm sorry. What are your views on magic? I love magic. I think it's real, and I think that anything that you say and do and you put that energy behind it, that's magic, you know. So anything you're trying to bring towards you or put out in that world, if that's the energy that you put out there, I feel like that's magic, and I do believe in magic. Open eyes, different perspectives, 2020 vision. I like that. How do you find the target? How do you know where to go when you're remote viewing? So really, you don't know. I do a whole session, and I'm either there or I'm not. And Courtney will tell me if I'm right. If I'm not there, then he'll be like, you're not on target. You need to do this again. And I'll do it again, and I'll be on target. So there's that. Is Trump going to unveil his face on Mount Rushmore? I hope not, but I'm not going to answer that question. Have you ever seen lotus flowers in your chakras? I have. Love always wins. Yes. You need to brush up on some conspicuous stuff. 411 is quite strange. I mean, yeah, maybe. There's just a lot that goes on in the world and in my life, and it's hard to keep up with like everything that's happening. So if you want to, you know, send me some information on like my Instagram or something, you could totally do that, and I would read up on 411 because it sounds interesting. Cyberman, I see you out here. I see you, and I see your comment. Let's see. Princess Shanae is magic. Princess is magic. I love Princess. I have never looked at the Travis Walton incident. Where are all the positive, non-creepy ETs? Okay, cool. I'm going to be honest. There's like maybe two out of every ET that I've remote viewed that did not creep me out. And that actually, when I remote viewed them, they gave me more information than what I was looking for. They definitely opened their minds to me, and they opened their perspectives, and they really showed me what I was there to see. So I don't think that all aliens are like these creepy, like weird beings, but I do think that like 95% of them are. And I have come across some that were really, they didn't creep me out, and they felt cool, and they felt like they were just there to kind of be there, and they didn't really do a whole lot wrong. Let's see, do you feel any chakras above your crown chakra? I'm gonna say no. Got 4 minutes, guys. 4 more minutes. How long have you been remote viewing? I've been remote viewing for 2 years now. Do you still feel like you have more to learn? I feel like I have so much to learn on remote viewing. Like remote viewing, when I think of the people who really inspire me to remote view, I do think of Princess, because Princess has been remote viewing for 6 years now, and she makes it look so easy. I be remote viewing, and I'm like, how the heck is all this just coming so easy to you? And she's just like, I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm just so amazing. And I'm like, I know you are, but so I mean, I do think that Princess is very, very good at remote viewing, and I want to learn from her how to be a better remote viewing. And it's something that you're always learning about, because there's something there that you've never experienced before. Every time you remote view, if you remote view different targets, there's new feelings, there's new subjects, and there's new things that you have to experience. So I don't think I'm like this guru in remote viewing, but yeah, thanks for that question. Do you enjoy the tasks assigned? I do enjoy the most of the projects that we do. Has Corny ever made you redo a remote viewing target? No, he hasn't. Usually when you get it right, you get it right, and so he won't make me redo it unless it's just like completely wrong. And that hasn't happened since like I was really first started like training here at Farsight. Princess is just really fast at it. She is. She's amazing. What do you hope to have learned by next year? I hope to be more faster at getting these hints, and I don't want to call them right now, but I just want to be faster at remote viewing. I don't want to sit there and like, yeah, that's happening, and yeah, this is happening. I want to be able to probe and be like, yeah, that's happening, and this is happening, and we're going here. You know what I mean? I want to get better and faster and more accurate with my results. So that is something that I do want to learn. Did your 19-inch the best? Ray Taylor, my name doesn't really mean anything as far as I'm concerned. I think one time my mom told me my name was Hawaiian and it meant beautiful eyes, but she could have just made that crap up to make me feel better about myself. Who are the men in black? If you mean like the people that I see who look like they're like covered in all black, I honestly feel like they're either I feel like they're just black people, you know. I feel like a lot of times I can't tell if people are wearing really, really thin clothing or like no clothes at all. And so when I see like all black people and I feel for their clothing, it almost feels like they're not wearing clothes. So I almost want to believe that they're just super melanated people. But that's a hard question. That is a hard question. And thank you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around and being so great. Is there any way to learn this in the San Francisco Bay Area? I do not know. I do not know. I just know that we're here in Atlanta. Oh, I'm freaking wrong. Men in Black, the group that tries to cover up ET information. I got no idea on that part. No idea. I'm sorry. It's Will Smith. Oh God, that's hilarious. Do you have a time of day or night where remote viewing works better for you? I like to remote view like in the midday, like first thing in the morning, but definitely like around noon. I feel like that's when everything is real calm and I feel good and I feel like I get the best results. The friendly aliens, are they humanoids? Yes, they are. The friendly aliens are humanoids. They look like humans. But yeah, I guess that's all the time I have today, guys. And I really enjoyed your questions in the conversation that we had. And I hope to come back soon. So I'll see you guys later. And thanks so much again. See you later. Bye-bye.